Have you ever got lost in a tiny city where you have lived for your whole life? I don't even need to imagine such kind of situation. It's my reality. Even though this is not a story of how I overcame the problem of getting lost in a well-known place, I still do. But I'm going to tell you about my enemies. You may wonder how is getting lost and I really connected? The fact is, they aren't, but one leads to another. So let's start from the beginning. A while ago, I was lying on my couch, looking at the roof and thinking about the universe's deepest secrets when I got a message from my friend. I picked up my phone and saw it. Hey, there's a whole section now, town. Do you want to try? Suddenly, the enemies woke up inside my head. Oh, I forgot to introduce them to you. Say hi to them, Miss Anxiety and Mr. Fear. For us, humans, it is natural to experience such kind of emotions. According to the research of Therish Timer, the main function of fear and anxiety is to act as a signal of danger, threat, or motivational conflict, and to trigger appropriate adaptive responses. And according to another article done by Emsland Hospital, Mr. Fear is a response to a perceived threat, while Miss Anxiety involves worrying about a threat that has not yet or may never happen. Remember the last time you were walking in the dark passage having anxiety about what could be lurking in the darkness? That's when Miss Anxiety can be our friend. A healthy level of fear or anxiety allows us to face challenges, and it was especially helpful for us in the past to survive through the ancient period. However, there are times when our friends can become our enemies, and that's the enemies who spoil my life greatly. I have lost so many opportunities due to the feeling of fear and anxiety that I even stopped counting. Therefore, it is no surprise that they woke up the moment I thought about trying new experience. They started telling that, what if you don't like it? Can you imagine how awkward going to a totally unknown place would be? What if something goes wrong? And so on. However, I wanted to at least try playing volleyball so hard that I turned off my mind and texted back, sure, I'm in. Apparently, my mind couldn't be turned off for forever, therefore intrusive thoughts were back the moment I sent the message. For the whole week, I was contemplating about leaving practice. Then the day X came. To say that I was terrified? Nah, I was scared to the extent that I got lost in a tiny city where I have lived for my whole life. So, as a result, I got late. Tremendous reaction, isn't it? Then, what happened next? My enemies were winning over me the moment I opened the gym's building. However, even though I pictured this practice as my biggest nightmare coming into reality, nothing which I feared much came true. In fact, I liked volleyball and right now I cannot imagine my life without it. Then, why did I fear it so much? There was nothing to be afraid about. I am sure that you ask yourself the same question. The copy of Mrs. Fear and Mr. Anxiety lives in all of us. But what makes us different is what we choose, listening to or trying to defy them. Try to remember the last time you encountered the enemies. What have you done? Give up? Or decided to give them a fight? Keep that in mind. So, right now, I'm ready to tell you a pretty simple truth. There is no magic pill or cure for fear and anxiety. As I said, they are our natural enemies, our friends in the past. You can't get rid of them at all. So if you can't, then what can you do? I offer you the two-step solution to fight against your enemies. Firstly, I offer you to acknowledge your feelings. You can't be overflowing with confidence when you try something for the first time. It's natural for our enemies to step out in such moments like this. And you need to understand this. Try to remember that it's okay to feel what you feel. You can feel nervous and anxious. It's fine. But also, don't forget that if you let your enemies win over you every time you want to do something you fear, then you could write a book called Lost Opportunities from Not Beating My Enemies. Maybe you could become a best-selling author. However, I do not recommend you to try this method. In the ripe old age, you will regret about the opportunities you lost so much. The pain of regret is worse than the pain of failure. That's what I remind myself every time I want to retreat. And then the next step is the key one. Try to move in the direction of your goals despite intrusive thoughts in your head that can stop you. That's what changed my life. from losing opportunities to moving in the direction of my goals despite missing anxiety and missing fear in my head. If you cannot do it in one step, you can take smaller ones. Let's say that you have a final boss that you're afraid of but want to defeat him anyway. For instance, you want to attend a big conference as a speaker, but you're afraid of public speaking. In video games, before meeting the final boss, you need to defeat smaller ones. The same goes with your goals. Before actually going to the conference, try to listen other speeches, sign up for public speaking course, or deliver your speech to a smaller audience. There are a variety of options. Just choose what works better for you. I offer you to start from today. Listening to me would be a waste of time if you did not make any steps. Want to publish a book? Sign up for those writing courses. Want to run a marathon? Start running today. As Nike's motto says, just do it. Yes, you would be afraid and anxious. Yes, you would think that maybe it's not your thing. Maybe the perfectionist in you will say that there's no point in doing something that you won't be good on the first try. But you need to master the courage and take steps towards your goal despite the enemies in your head. They will become smaller as time passes by. After all, they are just small nasty creatures in your head. Try to be bold, even if you think you aren't. Thank you.